Hey, this is a Fire the channel. Today's news is the US dollar in danger? So let's get started. A version of this story first appeared in CNN Business before the Bell newsletter. Not a subscriber? You can sign up right here. So New York Times CNN Business says the US may have the world's most powerful military, but the dollar is its greatest weapon. Now, after nearly 80 years of dollar dominance, the US might be in danger of losing its global reserve currency status. About 60% of the $12.8 trillion in global currency services are currently held in dollars, giving the US an exorbitant privilege over other countries, and that privilege pays because US government debt backed by the dollar is very attractive. Interest rates are lower. The US get to borrow from other countries in its own currency, so if the US dollar loses value, that does too. American business can make international transactions in dollar without having to pay conversion fees. Perhaps most importantly, in extreme circumstances, the US can cut off dollars' access to central banks around the globe, isolating and draining their economies. Raghuram Rajan, the former governor of Reserve Bank of India, called this power an economic weapon of mass destruction. The US detonated this weapon in Russia in February after the country invaded Ukraine, freezing $630 billion worth of forex reserves and deeply undermining the value of the ruble. That gave America the ability to punish Russia without getting US troops involved in war. But with great power comes great responsibility. When you use a weapon of mass destruction, even an economic one, people get spooked. To protect themselves from the same fate as Russia, other countries diversify their investment away from the US dollar into other currencies. That's where the current reserve currency status could run into problem. Weaponizing the dollar, said Bank of America strategist Michael Hartnett, could lead to its debasement. The balkanization of global financial system erodes America's role as a self-reserve currency, he added. A new research paper by the International Monetary Fund found that the dollar's share of international reserves had been in decline for the past 2 decades. Around the same time, the United States began its war in terror and its counter-terror sanctions. One quarter of reserves have since shifted from the dollar to Chinese yuan, and the other 3 quarters have moved into currencies of smaller countries. These observations provide hints of how the international system may evolve going forward, and the paper's co-author, Serkan Osunarov of the IMF, Barry Inchigrin of the University of California, Berkeley, and and Chima Simpson Bell, also of the IMF. Laosi and China are also hoping to guide the evolution of the international system. Russian President Vladimir Putin threatened on Thursday to end gas export to countries that do not open an account with Russian bank and pay in rubles. The European Union gets about 40% of its gas and 30% of its oil from Russia, with no easy alternatives. Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, is in talk with Beijing to accept yuan instead of dollar for Chinese oil sales. So is King Dollar about to be determined. If the past 2 years have taught us anything, it's that nothing is impossible. But the prospect of the US losing that exorbitant privilege is very unlikely. For one thing, the alternatives are not great. China has been pushing the yuan for years, and only about 3% of global transactions are conducted in the currency. That's compared to 40% for the dollar. The US is also still fairly attractive to the rest of the globe. The US equity market is the largest and most liquid stock market in the world, and foreign capital is flowing into the country. Global foreign direct investment flow grew by 77% to estimated $1.65 trillion in 2021, but the investment in US soared by 140% to $323 billion, according to the United Nations Conference on Trade Development. So that's it. So thank you for watching, and see you next video. Bye.